And we are live. Seems like we've actually started at 10:30 every time.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Heritage Arts Podcast and Flosstube. We're Tim and Kayla, owners of Heritage Arts Co., located in Minnesota, and this is a podcast all about arts and handcrafts. And today we're going to be talking about cross-stitch, knitting, a tiny bit of woodworking, and you're going to hear plenty of noises from our little 7-month-old son. Well, almost 8 months, I guess, isn't he? But anyway, that's what we're in for today.
He is having a lot of fun playing right now.
He is.
Usually that means a lot of noise as well.
Yes. So hopefully we won't have any big screeches like last time. Although I did listen and they didn't sound quite as bad as I expected them to. So that's good. But hope you like baby noises because we got lots of those. So, well, first of all, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas.
It's a couple days after, but it's still the Christmas season. So we're excited.
Just go quick check.
Okay. He's like 4 feet away from us. So we are just excited to talk about some of the gift knitting that I did, some of the Christmas gifts, some of the crafty kind of Christmas gifts that we got, and just to celebrate the season a little further. We keep our Christmas decorations up kind of till beginning of January. Well, more like very big, like New Year's. Do you take it down New Year's Day or New Year's Eve?
I try to take it down New Year's Day, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't mind for it to stay up a little bit longer. But our Christmas village here stays up like
through February kind of. So it's kind of just a winter village at some point. So yeah, but should I start off with? Yeah, you have a lot more than I do.
I have a lot to show today. So first off, maybe I will start with, I have one Christmas knit that I'm going to show, one gift knit. So I'm going to pop off screen quick. I had been working on the straightforward mitts, which is a pair of fingerless mitts for my mom for Christmas. And I am happy to say I was able to give them to her at Christmas time. I gave them to her. Yeah, she opened them on Christmas Day. Yeah, and they were completed on Christmas Day. They were perhaps not exactly completed when she unwrapped them. They might have had some little ends tucked up inside. So I did end up finishing them, though. I had taken a little picture actually of this is me finishing them on Christmas Day. But these are the completed mitts. Of course, I only have just a picture now, but you can see them pretty well. I think the color's okay. And so these Christmas mitts, I used, Lolo did it in the cornucopia colorway, which just has, like, as you can see, it's just a lot of nice kind of Christmassy, harvesty kind of colors. So they really, I mean, except for the green cuff, they really could kind of go throughout the winter season.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, sorry, everyone. Oh, hey, buddy. It's okay, sweetie. He's fine, just so everyone knows. He just was, I think, wanting some love. So I'm going to go solo for a couple minutes here, and Tim's going to play with him. So yeah, I finished my straightforward mitts. I have all more information on my Ravelry page for that. Like I said, I used Lolo did it cornucopia for the main color, and then it's a Knit Pick Stroll tonal color, and I think Coldstream is the name of it for that green cuff. So really nice pair of mitts. It has kind of that diagonal ribbing on it, which made it really snug to the hand. And I know my mom really liked that when she tried them on. So those are great to knit up. I am really glad to be done with all of the twisted rib knitting because that was kind of hard on my hands. So that is my one FO that I was going to show today. I have another Christmas FO, but I'm not going to show that till next week. So right now we are going to trade, and Tim is going to talk for a little bit about some of his cross stitching stuff, because I am going to go take care of the little one.
All right. So I got several cross stitching gifts this year, none of which I asked for, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think, yeah.
Because I didn't know what I wanted. And I am probably
much of it was the stuff that I added to your Christmas list for you.
Yeah. And I'm probably one of the hardest people to buy for. I realize it. It's just, I don't know. If I want anything bad enough, I'd buy it. Yeah, probably like most people. You
will buy it. If you don't absolutely need it, you'll talk yourself out of it.
Very true.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I got was this floss finder organizer. I'm a very organized person. I am what I call a capital type A Times New Roman type person. Everything has its spot. Our house stays pretty clean because
mostly because of you. Yeah. I'm a type A person as well, but we like to say I'm like a lowercase cursive type A.
True.
Yeah.
So how I keep my floss now is in Ziploc bags. There's no organization. I do have a Excel spreadsheet with all of
what you have.
All of what I have on there. So I know if I get a new pattern, and I can just go to my Excel spreadsheet and see what I have left, how much I need, and what colors I need, which is nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't
tell you where it is.
True. So and a lot of my floss is all hand-me-down gifts. A lot of it all came from my mom's stash. So little to no organization. This was great to get. And then with that, Kayla also got me this little floss winder for these floss bobbins that will go in here. So that is great. Yeah. Oh yeah. And all these nice little labels that will go on my bobbins as well. So great present. It's the gift that we'll keep on giving for a while, because now I have a ton of work to do.
To actually get it organized.
Yeah.
I'm even hoping that it's all going to fit in that case.
We'll see.
I think there's a chance we might be buying a second one of those cases.
You will all find out eventually, because once I get it all in here, I will, this will be an FO once I get it all in here. I don't know when I'm going to start it yet. The stocking cross stitch that I've been showing every week, no progress made on it this last week. Christmas got really busy for us, and I don't think I have done one stitch since last Sunday. So and I'm pretty sure I didn't even do anything after the podcast. So no progress there. So that was
today for you. But
that was my first real cross stitch present. I'll share this one next. Sure. Next, I have this wonderful, I guess I'll call it a project bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a whole like cross stitch organizing bag. I think it's intended to kind of be for all sorts of tools in Notion.
Yeah, which I still plan to put, the projects I'm working on. There's pockets galore. What's this from? Luxja?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Amazon.
Yeah. Nice Amazon purchase / brand, but there are pockets everywhere, pockets on the back, pockets on the front too. I mean, all nice places for goodies.
Got spots for everything.
So that's great. Right now I am using, I will quick come down here and grab this, a cloth like grocery bag from Kayla's alma mater.
Yep.
So that is my project / just floss bag.
Yeah.
That I've been keeping everything in. So that was another great craft gift that I got this Christmas. That was from Kayla's brother. So that was a really nice gift. Do you want to go do some more of your stuff as he is happier now?
Yes. Amazing what a little milk will do. Haven't quite figured out the right screen angle to just feed him on the podcast. No, just kidding, kind of. Okay, so I showed my FO. That was my only FO I would think I was going to show today, right? Nope, I'm showing that next week. Oh, what? Oh, yes, I do have another FO. Not my FO, but it is finished. And it has my name on it, so I feel like it counts. So this is the stocking that my mom made for me that she cross-stitched many years ago. I don't know if she actually has, I don't think she stitched the date anywhere on it, but I think she said that she probably did it within the first couple years of my life. So probably 91, 92 is my guess. So this is my stocking. I wish I knew anything more about it, about the pattern or anything. I do actually feel like at one time I found what this pattern was, but I don't have any information on it at the moment. So, but it's just a very classic, one of the kind of classic Santa patterns. It sounded like this might have even not been for a stocking. She just kind of picked like a part of a motif that would go well on a stocking. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so this is my stocking, and she did like some neat little beadwork on it. And I love those little, like sprigs, the little like evergreen sprigs here. And there's little French knots for the little berries. So very cute stocking.
A very cute stocking.
Very. Did I say berry?
No, you just said the little berries.
Oh, the little berries. Yes. Okay. Very cute. And then she did this neat kind of thing where she has it folded over for where the name goes. And some of the little fringe here. So she did a similar stocking for herself, but hers is like a Santa with kind of a polar bear. It's that one's a really neat pattern too. But yeah, so that's my stocking. When we picked out the pattern for Tim's stocking, which maybe I'll see if I can grab that here quick. I can. So for any of you following along, you've seen this a number of times, but this is Tim's stocking that he's working on for himself, but that I had originally picked out because I was going to do it and then I didn't. So we wanted something that was going to be like a little similar in look where, I mean, not that it's exactly the same or anything, but it just has some similar motifs with the deer and just a more classic look. Cause you can get all sorts of different kind of themes, whether it's really modern or really more cutesy or, there's just all sorts of things. So we wanted something kind of similar. So now this year we're going to be on the hunt also for Noah's stocking pattern. So based on these two patterns, if any of you have any suggestions for a stocking that would look good with these, we'd love to hear them. We definitely are wanting something, I think, that is something that he can use as an adult. So it's not going to be too little kiddish. So, cause obviously I've kept this all these years. So yeah, we're looking for something for the same for him. So,
and now we've shown how many FOs from your mom?
Oh yeah. So I was realizing, I think we've shown off more of my mom's cross stitch FOs than Tim's. So
we've only shown like one or two.
Yeah, you probably only had one or two. So that's what happens when you start out with a really big project, though. So you've seen a lot of my mom's cross stitch, less of Tim's, but he'll catch up, I'm sure. So those are FOs. Let's see. I think I will show, maybe now I'll just, what am I even working on for whips? Oh, I have a couple whips, but I'll start with some of my Christmas gifts because that's what Tim was showing. So I need to pull this out here. All right. So if you've been following along, you'll know that every week we've been sharing Kayla's Christmas list, which started out as kind of a way to assemble all of the crafty gifts into a list for Tim to pick from because
I'm a terrible shopper.
Yeah, you're just
a terrible person to shop for.
Yeah, he's hard to shop for. He's not great at shopping himself. The good thing is that he's a guy that can do with very little. So, but I wanted to give him a list because in prior years, we've always he's just been like, oh, yeah, is that right, Noah? Yeah, Noah wants to be part of this. In prior years, we kind of like pick something out and it's a gift for me, but I end up buying it. And so he hasn't really been able to surprise me. So we wanted to kind of give him some opportunities for that. So Kayla's Christmas list, I had a bunch of crafty gifts on there and he shopped from that for me. So he definitely, he had a lot of options, but he also kind of waited out some of the Christmassy kind of options that were more seasonal. But the item that he got me was actually the very first Kayla's Christmas list entry. And I've talked a little bit about it when I initially shared about it, but I will show it off now that he got me a skein of self-striping yarn from Night Owl Fibers. Oh, that's getting really, there we go. From Night Owl Fibers. Rachel does the most incredible self-striping yarns. And
did you say the name of it?
Oh, and so yes, so this is the Very Hungry Caterpillar colorway. It's all backwards now. Sorry about that. But Very Hungry Caterpillar is the colorway, and it's after the book The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. And it was funny because it was just a couple days before I had discovered this yarn that I had been reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar to Noah because it's like one of his favorite books to read. And as I was looking through it, I was like, oh man, it'd be cool to have like a yarn that's like these colors and these, you know, kind of textures and stuff. And then it was maybe 3 days later that I was kind of scrolling back. I had just started following Rachel on Instagram, and I was scrolling back kind of far back in her feed, just because I wanted to see kind of all of her different creations. And I saw this one, and I was just blown away that number one, that someone had attempted it, but that she had done such an incredible job with it. So it's hard to see right now because, you know, it's skeined up, but what this will do is it is, you know, even with stripes, but you kind of have all the different like foods that the Hungry Caterpillar ate. And so there's, you know, blues, greens, yellows. There's kind of one of the pinkish reds is like a speckled to look like a strawberry. And then there's a section that's white speckles. So there's one stripe section that's white speckles or like white with colored speckles on it. And to me, that looks just like it's so representative of like the page where on Saturday he ate like all the foods. And so, so I just think it's so fun. It's such a fun yarn. And Tim was really excited to be able to get this one for me still. And so I don't know. It looks like I think even it was it limited stock on that one?
I don't remember.
Okay.
You're lucky I was able to buy anything.
I know. Yeah. but yes, so he was able to get me the Very Hungry Caterpillar by Night Owl Fibers, and I'm so excited about it. I actually already have plans for what I'm going to use it for. There is a pattern called, oh, now I'm forgetting it, and I don't think I have it readily pulled up. I think it's like the vanilla latte sock or, the vanilla something sock. And it is like kind of a slip stitch pattern sock. So it, between where the stripes change color, there's kind of a slip stitch pattern, and it's a nice way to kind of spice up the knitting a little bit, just to add a little bit of pattern to it, so that you're not just kind of knitting around in circles. So I don't exactly mind that. But it's vanilla bean. Sorry, it's vanilla bean, not vanilla latte. So you can see here, this is from one of the pictures from Ravelry. So it just creates that kind of little like, I don't know, like a little pattern in between each stripe.
Almost like a Lego.
Yeah. I kind of described it to Tim because I was telling him about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this like slip stitch pattern. And he's like, oh, this slip stitch pattern. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so I described it as kind of looking like little Lego blocks in between each stripe. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see if I can even pull up. I won't worry about it. But
I was gonna say, you have 75 other skeins of yarn to go through today.
I do.
So
anyway, so this was this was Tim's gift to me. Very exciting. I can't wait to get it into a cake and start eventually working on the socks. I don't know exactly when I'm going to start them, but I am very excited about that. So thank you, Rachel, for dyeing up such beautiful yarn. And thank you, Tim, for buying it for me. So that was my first bit of Christmas yarn. But I was also very blessed by my family that they ended up getting me a lot of other kind of knitty gifts, which was exciting. So we'll take a short break from yarn to show off a couple books that I got, actually. So one of these, this one my dad gave me, it's called People Knitting. And it's like, it's called A Century in Photographs. And it's literally photographs of people knitting, which I just love. Like, I love old photographs, and I love knitting, and I love books. So this is just like such a little treasure. I think it's so fun. So just years and years of showing all sorts of different kinds of people, all different kinds of people knitting. There is an interned German. Oh, this must be from maybe World War II or something. So like there's a man knitting and there's little children knitting. I don't know. It's just so fun. I'm looking forward to looking through the pictures, and in the back they have kind of the timeline of all the different photos and what they all are. So I'm really looking forward to that. This has been on my Christmas list for actually for a couple years. So I think it was maybe near the bottom. So no one got it the first couple years. This one was actually a new book that I had heard about this year. And it's actually a children's book called Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett. This I had originally heard about from the Read Aloud Revival podcast. I think she had done a giveaway for it, earlier this year. And I saw that and I just thought, what a cute concept. I had no idea what it was about. So, but I just thought it was cute book. Yeah, but I just thought it was cute. So I read it this morning.
Very financially irresponsible, but very cute.
Which if you've read the book, you'll know why, but not financially irresponsible, just passing up. Yeah. Anyway, this little girl has this miracle yarn and she's offered a lot of money for it. That's all we'll say, but read the book. It's very cute and beautiful, beautiful illustrations in it. Like I love the illustrations. It uses like these knitted textures, lots of color. So fun book. Excited to, I guess, add it to Noah's shelf. It was a gift to me though, so maybe I'll keep it on my shelf. So Extra Yarn is that book. So those are a couple little nitty gifts. Another nitty non-yarn gift that I got, and there's a little bit of a story behind this one.
I tried to buy this for
So
her.
this was another one that he also tried to buy me for Christmas. And this is a McPurley pouch from Knitty McPurley. This is, I think, what is the Carpe de Carpe or something, I think is the name of this style with the little fish on it, which is so cute. So this was another one. Tim had also tried to buy this for me, but when he went to look at it and buy it, it said it was all sold out. And so he was very sad. He at least had, you know, a skein of yarn for me, but he was like trying to kind of get a couple little things, and he was just running up into a lot of makers being sold out because he just didn't quite understand the pace at which these things, the pace at which other knitters like to buy things. So it appeared that this was sold out, and he was very sad. And then the next day in Devon's mailing list in her newsletter, she said that she had a little error on her website that was causing everything to look as if it was sold out.
And I had already bought something else,
but it wasn't. So, so he had kind of missed out on it. But my mom actually got this for me. So I'd had this on my list as well, and so she bought this for me. So that was such a fun surprise to get, because I just kind of thought, oh, well, maybe I'll see if I could get something with with Christmas money later on. And so I kind of had it mentally bookmarked for that. But it was really exciting then to open this up. And I think I actually squealed when I got it, because I was just so shocked. So, so that was super fun. And I already have filled it with a number of little things. I have my Woolen & Co. Anti-inflammatory muscle balm, which has been really great on my hands in this season of furious knitting to get stuff done by Christmas. I have my AirPods in it. I have some lip balm. I have some needles, not like knitting needles, like tapestry, sewing needles, some little extra yarn. So not the book extra yarn, just some actual extra yarn. So that's my McPurley pouch. Already has been put to very good use.
Do we want to switch again?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just keep going?
Maybe I'll just keep going with my yarn here quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go through this fairly quick. So my mom also got me a skein of Knit Picks Muse fingering weight of their sock yarn in this gorgeous, like super duper speckled. Like, I love a really subtle speckle where you just see these like little dots of color. And that's kind of what the one stripe in Rachel's yarn is like, where you have these really defined colors that you see in the speckles. But then I also love just a like ridiculously like speckles everywhere yarn.
Is there a yarn you don't love?
No, there's not. That's a good point. That's a good point. But like, I don't know. I feel like there are some dyers that are just excellent at like that really subtle speckle. And then sometimes you just have this like massive fun speckle. So my mom got me this. It's like I said, Knit Picks Muse. It's Dedication Speckle, I think Dedication is the colorway name. And it's just all these tones of green. So I think I have in mind that I probably am going to do, so it's a 100-gram skein, which I can get, I like a little bit shorter socks on the leg. And I like doing the contrasting, at least, heel and toe on it. So I can generally get 2 pairs of socks out of 100 grams. So I think what I'm going to do is use half of it to make a pair of like St. Patrick's Day kind of socks, and then use half to do some Christmas socks for next year, I think. So that's kind of my plan for that. Really pretty. So my mom picked that out for me. And then she also got me, also from Knit Picks, a little bit, it was one of their kind of value pack, like kind of pre-curated selection of colors. And this one was fun because she gave it to me in like a ginormous tube.
Yeah.
It was it was almost as tall as me, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you're really short.
But I'm short, so it's not saying a lot. But it was like a 4.5 to 5 foot tube. Yeah. And she had all the yarn kind of stacked up in it, which was really fun. So what she got me was one of Knit Picks, like I said, kind of curated.
Don't worry, he's just choking on his own spit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's teething pretty bad right now.
There's some little nubbies on his gums, which is super cute. So this is the kind of selection that they curated into one of their value packs. And I think they have some kind of pattern that goes specifically with it. But I'll probably be finding some other pattern to knit up with it. But really beautiful colors. So it's all Hawthorne fingering weight, which is their 80/20 base. I really like this base of theirs. I have done, I did a pair of socks for my dad and it last year for Christmas, which I'll have to show next time that we do like a recorded podcast versus a live, which we're hoping for next week.
Yeah.
I will show off the socks that I made for my dad last year for Christmas because they're pretty cool. But they were in this Hawthorne fingering base. So 80/20, it's really kind of nice and plumpy. You can see a very defined twist on it. So I really like this base actually. So this color here, this is called Arletta or Arlita. I'm not exactly sure. It's one of the Hawthorne multi colors, they call it. So there's a lot of different kind of colors in it, but mostly this kind of reddish pinkish color with some more muted tones. So we have Arletta, we have Burlingame. And it's very similar to this one, just a little bit lighter. And then you have some greens and teals, purples. This one is really beautiful. I love all those different colors in it. So we have those two. Then we're kind of going into a darker, similar colors, but darker. And this is Eugene Tonal. Really pretty colors in that. A skein of the Hawthorne in Kerns, which I actually have. I love this Kerns colorway from Knit Picks. It's not showing as well here on the camera, but it's got a lot of purpley kind of grayish tones to it. And I actually have a sweater quantity of this in their Capretta fingering base, which is their MCN merino cashmere nylon base. So I have the same color in a different base, but I love it with the colors that they've put it with here. And then finally, a Jupiter speckle.
That's really pretty.
That is super fun. So I guess I do like all speckles because I would consider this not a minimalist speckle. This is kind of right in the middle. And then the massive speckle. So yeah, I like them all, I guess.
Do you have any plans for any of this yarn?
I have started thinking about plans for this set. But I'm not entirely, I'm not set on anything yet. What I'm actually thinking about doing with this set is, I haven't told you about any of this yet.
You haven't.
So there is the Penguono sweater designed by Stephen West, which is, there you see different, I love hugging my yarn. You see many variations of it. Some people do it in a very muted tone, you could do it all essentially in one color, but you could also do it scrappy and have a ton of crazy colors. I don't love doing a ton of crazy colors, but a curated set like this could be kind of neat. So it's kind of designed to be a little bit oversized sweater that you could wear, just a little heavier sweater, around the house or something. And I've really been wanting something that is not a zip up sweatshirt or even just a pullover. I just want an open cardigan, because with feeding Noah, with breastfeeding, and just with being around the house a lot, I just always find myself wanting something like a chunkier cardigan that's open, that I can like maybe kind of button at the side. So Penguono matches a lot of those wants. And I think that, I don't know, I'm toying with the idea of doing something like that with these. Otherwise, I'm going to find some kind of big shawl that I can do to use all 5 colors, because I just think there's such beautiful colors all together that I would be doing a disservice to any of them by splitting them up. So that's kind of my thought. We'll see. I'm going to keep looking at all the different people that have knit the Penguono on Ravelry to see like what other people have done, and just kind of keep thinking about that. But that's a potential. So not set on it yet, but that's what I'm thinking about. So those are a whole bunch of beautiful yarn from my mom. Thank you, Mom. And I see you're actually watching. So I don't know if she caught the beginning of everything, but so yeah, so that was all my gift yarn. And why don't we head back to Tim?
Okay.
And we will keep going with a couple more crafty Christmas gifts. If you watch our podcast normally, you know that we are not a podcast that shares like tons of acquisitions every week, because we don't buy a lot of stuff. So, okay, I'll go.
All right.
So this is a little bit of a special edition here, because we don't often share a ton of purchases.
So I got one pattern this year.
You did.
It's by Stony Creek. It's called The Last Race. And very fun little pattern here. My brother and I, we used to race stock cars on dirt track. We've also done a bunch of demo derbies. I'm still trying to talk Kayla into allowing me to buy another race car.
Yeah, someday.
I'm working on it. I keep telling her I want to buy a snowmobile too, and
that's a hard no.
So seeing as that's a hard no, I then keep going back. Well, maybe then I get to buy a race car, right?
We'll see.
Yeah, a we'll see is a lot better than a hard no. So Kayla got me this pattern by Stony Creek. It's a little tractor in the shed in the background. I'm probably gonna change it around. Our number was 55 when we used to race, but I don't know. My favorite number for a race car is number 4, so it might also be number 4. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know. This one's kind of moving to the back of the pile for all of my projects that I have to do in the meantime. I'm hoping to start it sometime next year. Mm-hmm. Which is good because I still don't know what size I want to do this on. On the back, they give a lot of, different sizes of what the size will be for the different
actual dimensions would be for a different. So
I'm thinking like an 18 count 8 o'clock is what I'm going to use. And they on the model here, it says it's on a 28 count vintage blue whisper, and that would be nice for the kind of sky background. So I'm gonna do something similar.
Yeah, we could even consider trying to dye some 8 o'clock too.
That's true. Yeah,
might be kind of fun to just try something like that.
And if you guys know me, and I know a lot of you who watch this do not like backstitching, this has a ton of backstitching, but I love backstitching, so we'll looking.
See if you love it after
after this.
Maybe that'll beat it out of you.
But fun pattern. I'm really looking forward to getting started on it. But like I said, it's going to go to the back of the pile of all of my patterns that I have in line right now. Yeah, bring that over. And then my last cross stitch / crafty gift that I got this year, which I was not expecting at all, just put it together, is the OttLite floor lamp. And it is really cool. So I got this from my mother-in-law. Thanks, Kathy. I see she started using hers. She also got one for herself. She started using hers last night and apparently loves it. I set mine up and got it all ready to go, but now I've since moved it to show you guys. This was a total surprise. I think it's going to be a game changer, especially doing the white floss on white Aida cloth. I hate it so much, and I've been using this contraption that hangs around your neck, and
it's still an light that one is.
Yeah, that and it works great.
It's just
but
not. This is going to be such a game changer.
I'm really looking forward to using this. Yeah. Total surprise. Very, very fun. I've seen other people have that, and I've been very jealous. So now the people who don't have it can be jealous of me.
Yeah.
Should I just keep going with my crafty gifts? Yeah, you can
show a couple other of those.
There's not a lot of people who watch, I think, for my woodworking, but one of my stocking stuffers was some bench dogs for my workbench. They hold your...
I'll be honest, I couldn't even hazard a guess at what a bench dog is for.
Unless you are into woodworking, you have no clue what these are, but they will hold my pieces that I'm working on in place on my workbench. So it's so dumb. They're not that expensive. Every time I'm at Menards or Home Depot or something, I always look at them and I don't throw them in the cart for who knows what reason. So
it's great to get as a gift.
Great gift, great stocking stuffer, something that I never buy for myself, but should. Yeah. And then another woodworking gift that I got that I didn't even know I wanted. I knew I needed, but didn't know I wanted. Was this Craig Jig rip cut for my skill saw. And no one knows what it's. No one knows it's.
Probably care, but
it's great. It's gonna help me cut big sheets into little sheets, and it's gonna keep me safer doing it as well, and it's gonna be a lot easier. So I got this from my father-in-law. So thank you, Bill, and excited to use this too. But probably won't be till spring as my shop isn't heated, and it is currently like 19 degrees and snowing out right now, so I'm not going out there today.
Yeah, and we've got several inches of snow in between.
Well, that's awfully loud from our little boy. Do you want to switch? As that's the last of my gifts.
Yes.
So we'll switch. I'll quick hop off here.
I have just one more.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm back. This is kind of how these are going, but like we said, we are hoping to get back to actually recording, not live.
Again by himself at night.
Yeah, he's finally going down better at night again. When we started the podcast, we had the first podcast. We were like, this is a miracle. We recorded the entire thing before he kind of like woke up for the first time. And I think we had the first podcast and the second podcast, maybe that he did that. And then after that, he was like every time we would get maybe halfway through the podcast and then he'd wake up and we kind of go back and forth. And eventually it just got to be like, okay, we can't do that. So then we started doing the lives, but now we feel like we're getting to the point where we're going to get a good stretch that we can actually record in the evenings again. So we are hoping to get back to that, but for now we're just doing our lives and this is just fine. But I am looking forward to having it a little more organized because I feel like every single time that we finish the podcast, I'm like, oh, I meant to share this. And I keep forgetting. So, but the one other kind of I do have can you bring my case over? And I'll just breeze through those real quick. So, even though I was finishing some Christmas gifts, I also have a couple whips that I started. So on our podcast last time, I had mentioned that I started the chouette hat, which is kind of a bulky weight hat with the little owl pattern on it. So I did a couple rows on that over Christmas, but not a whole ton of progress here yet. So that's just the beginning of that. But I did have a little Christmas Eve cast on because, as I mentioned, I was weaving in the ends of my mom's mitts like that night and Christmas Day. So on Christmas Eve, while I was trying to work on them, I was with her for part of the time. So I was trying to be really sneaky and hide it. But I wasn't. So that was getting kind of difficult. So I was like, oh, I'll just cast on something new. Why not? So I did cast on for a pair of socks. I have just a couple little rows here done of the ribbing. But these are going to be just kind of my own design a little bit. I'm using this Valley Yarns Huntington is the name of the base. And the colorway is called Brown Sugar. This was actually some yarn that my mom got me last year for Christmas. And it's taken me a whole year to do anything with it. Tim's kind of laughing at me here. But I am glad that I waited because I think I have like the perfect kind of thing that I'm going to do with it. So they're going to be socks. I'm going to be using a little bit of white yarn at some point. And then I'm using the rest of this cornucopia yarn. And I'm going to try to make them kind of reminiscent of a gingerbread house. Nice. So I have some ideas for how I'm going to be doing that. These very well could be like a longer project that you might see well into summer even, just with everything else I have going. So may or may not see quick progress on these, but I kind of have some fun ideas. So if it turns out to be some really fun ideas, and if it takes long enough, who knows, maybe I would even consider writing up a little pattern that I would release for next Christmas. So I've got a lot of ideas in my brain for it. So
we had the time to do it all.
If only I had the time to do it all. So, but we'll see. Maybe by next Christmas I can have that written up as a pattern, some little like gingerbread socks. So that just does show that sometimes it pays to wait to find the perfect project for the yarn. So, so that's what I'm doing with that. So those are a couple whips. And then my last whip is something that I had talked about a little while ago, but I have a shawl pattern that I'm designing. Well, the shawl is actually designed. Right now I'm working on the sample and then actually getting the pattern fully written up. So as I've been thinking about doing this pattern doing this design as an actual pattern, my prototype I had knit up using some special yarn that I got to a trip when we were on a trip in Door County last year. And then I had some other yarn from my stash that I used as a contrasting color. But these two yarns were like different bases than each other. You wouldn't really be able to, one of them is kind of a normal base that you would be able to get. It was an MCN base, but the other base was like a yak base it was a merino yak base that it'd be hard to come by, or it just wasn't practical to write up a design using these two different yarns. But I really wanted to write up this design. So I started talking with one of my friends on Instagram who is a dyer, and talking about doing kind of a collaboration where I would design and do the sample with her yarn. And then she would release some kits with these colorways. So I don't have a lot to show on this particular shawl pattern yet. I'm just swatching with this new yarn right now. But the yarn is from Crux Fibers. Let's see if I can get that to show. The white is there we go. So Crux Fibers, she is a Canadian dyer. She lives in the Yukon Territory, and she dyes up just some really beautiful colors. So when I saw this colorway, which is called Provence, on her Instagram, I just immediately was like, oh, that is what I want to design my shawl with. It's like a garden party in a skein of yarn. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It's like a garden party in a skein of yarn. And it's got all these beautiful purples and golds and greens. And it's just, I can't even capture it right here. I'm going to be showing a picture on my Instagram feed pretty soon. So I would keep an eye out for that because this colorway is just beautiful. And then the contrasting colorway is this kind of neutral golden-y color. And this is a newer colorway for her. And I actually got to help name it, which was really exciting. So I'm going to hold off on sharing the name quite yet. I want to check with her first to make sure that we can share that. But this is just another beautiful colorway that she's dyed up. Really pretty kind of speckles, a little bit of variegation, and it's going to look really beautiful with this. So these are the two colors I'm using to design and to knit up the sample for this shawl. Like I said, right now I'm just working on swatching. So I literally couldn't even finish a full row last night. But that's life with a 7-month-old. So you can kind of see how it knits up really pretty. It's a single ply yarn. I have already learned loads about knitting with single ply yarn and specifically winding single ply yarn up into a cake. You have to be very gentle and very delicate, or you will end up with a tangled mess like I did. So let this be a public service announcement that if you're using single ply yarn, be very gentle with it. But you will be rewarded because it does knit up really beautifully. So I'm excited to keep sharing more on this design process and the pattern writing process in the coming weeks. But right now I'm just kind of at the baby stages of it. So yeah, so that was kind of all of the new things happening. There's a lot. I'm sorry it was probably kind of unorganized. Like I said, we're looking forward to getting back to our recorded format where we have a little more structure here. But thank you all for watching. Thank you to anyone who is watching after this is recorded. And we have been happy to share some of our exciting Christmas acquisitions and Christmas gifts that we've gotten.
We'll try to be back next Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be back next Sunday. Hopefully it will be a recorded one, but it might still be live. We'll just kind of see. In the meantime, be sure to follow us both on Instagram at Heritage Arts Co. and then at the Flosstube. And you can find us on our website, heritageartsco.com, Ravelry, Heritage Arts Co., and also on Pinterest at Heritage Arts Co. And on Pinterest is where I've shared the full listing of Kayla's Christmas list. So hopefully you can use that as some inspiration to maybe spend some of your own Christmas money on. I know I'm still going to be spending a little bit of my Christmas money on a couple more items from Kayla's Christmas list. So we hope you all have a wonderful week and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, right? Yeah, we won't be back before the New Year. So, and a very Happy New Year. So thank you all for watching and have a great Sunday. Keep on crafting.